Welcome to Uncle's channel. Thanks for watching today, and let's continue our journey to finish every single Game Boy, Game Boy Color game. Today we're focusing on a game called Chase HQ Secret Police for the Game Boy Color. Now, it's a direct sequel to Chase HQ for the original Game Boy, and so they're going to do their best to add like a little extra game modes into it, extra bells and whistle, extra attacks that you can do when you're chasing the criminals and whatnot, an entire different map system, and so like they really did their best to try to up the last game, to be a more fun, interactive game here, and they do succeed in that. However, some of the same flaws from the first game are still going to be evident in this game, and also some new flaws that were not even part of the first game are going to start shining through as well. I do feel like it's a better game than the original Chase HQ, but it's still not going to be perfect by any means. But let's go ahead and dive into Chase HQ Secret Police. Now, as I start the video, I'll link the box art for the game first. And right here we do have our police car chasing after a Porsche, or what appears to be a Porsche. They took all the emblems off here, and they also take all the names of the vehicles off inside the game as well. I guess they couldn't get the license to any of it, but regardless, we know it's a Porsche. We're chasing after it. I envisioned my police car not to look like it was straight out of Mayberry, but I mean, what kind of police scene is going to be where you're chasing a Porsche that's clearly from like the late 80s, early 90s, and you're in a police car from like the 1960s? I just don't feel like it's super accurate there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's exactly how police chases took place back in the mid-90s, but it does feel just a little bit off as you're racing through the Grand Canyons. However, despite my nitpickings here, you know exactly what this game is about from looking at the cover, so they did succeed in making a cover that describes the game. Now, when you load the game up here, there is better music at the start. However, they took away the two Clint Eastwood figures at the start of the last game, so we're already going to knock a couple points off, or at least a points of points. Well, that didn't sound right. Points of points. I meant to say like decimals for a point. Like maybe we'll say half a point knocked off for no Clint Eastwood. Now, you can't choose one player or two player. Obviously, we're going to play one player because we're trying to get the credits to roll here. Now, every single mission is going to start the exact same way as the first game. Nancy's going to come across the police radio, alert you of a criminal and their car type, and you're going to chase after that particular criminal. Now, they actually took away the name of Nancy, but they added a picture over here for the second game. Why they took her name away, I don't know, but they also took away all the names of the individual criminals, and so they are all unknown or Jane Doe or John Doe criminals. We just simply know what crimes they are committing and the type of car that they are driving in order to search after here. And so our very first crime, there are 10 that we're going to try to go after. The very first criminal is driving a green car and was a convenience store thief. And so not the worst crime compared to some of the ones we're going to get to, but obviously we need to catch this particular criminal. Now, when you start up here, you don't just simply jump straight into the police chase. You have to choose a team of police officers that you want working on this case. And there are 5 that you can choose from. We have Michael, George, Leon, Dominic, and Jane. And they all have individual stats here as far as like, chasing after the criminals. Michael has normal speed, attack, and power. George has high speed. Leon has high drive ability, which means you can control his car a little bit easier. Dominic has higher power, which means you can slam into the car and do more damage on the criminal's vehicle. And Jane has the most number of bullets that you can fire at the criminal. And personally, if you want like the all-star team, Jane's the best as far as like, being able to take the most health away without having to really get close to him. Dominic's the second best because you can just simply continue ramming into the car, take the most amount of damage or away from the driver. And then the third best is going to be Michael, just simply because he can do a high number of shots or a decent number of shots and decent power. George is the worst, and Leon is also the worst. No, I take it back. Leon is the worst. George is the second worst because, they just simply have really nothing going for them as far as like doing attack damage on the vehicle. Now, for my first time through, I do select Leon because the new Pope is Leo. So I went with, Leon here, Dominic, and George. And this was a mistake as far as like picking Leon and George. And we're going to get to an all-star team later, like I mentioned, who the best players are. But this was my mistake at the start as far as like picking the names that sounded the best. And we are presented with a map here. Now, the map is going to basically have police stations throughout, and you can position your 30 cop cars at these individual police stations. Once you've positioned them there, the game officially begins. You can see the cursor of the criminal moving across the map, and you can basically select any of your police officers and have them journey in a particular direction on the map in order to try to catch the criminal. It's almost like a reverse Pac-Man to a degree. Like you're playing as the ghost, trying to catch Pac-Man and sort of head him off on this little map here. Now, once you do head off the criminal, then you go into battle mode, and that's going to be like the original Chase HQ game. Now, instead of having a time limit like in the first game, now you have a basically your gas gauge, and when you get all the way to empty, then you have to basically park at the police station and resume the map feature to try to catch the criminal again to go into another battle mode. But otherwise, you're basically chasing behind the criminal criminal, and you have the ability to shoot at the criminal, but also just simply to keep ramming into them, knocking pieces of their car off. And once their health bar is all the way down to the bottom at the top of the screen, you officially captured that particular criminal. Now, the first time I was going through it, I did not, knock the health bar down all the way the first time. I had to go back to the map, and then the criminal did escape. But have no fear, you can jump back in and continue the game immediately. There is no like permadeath here, so you can just simply continue to go through every single mission as many times as you want. But there's a really weird cutscene here. Like if the criminal escapes, it has like a saying that says the criminal escaped or suspect escaped. And then there's a really satisfied cop look in here. Like the cop is happy or at least pleased that the criminal escaped. And it's I don't know, it's a weird scene to match up with you actually having the game over. But I do try again, and this time I do swap my team up just a little bit, trying to tweak it here and there to get the perfect team. And this time I do a whole lot better. I'm able to actually catch the criminal. And when you catch them, you do gun them down. You have a little cutscene here, basically putting them into custody. Now, before we go into the second mission here, I do want to talk about the controls of the game a little bit. Now, as you're going through it, the acceleration and the braking, all of that feels natural. I did go into an automatic car, so I don't have to worry about going from low gear to high gear like in the first game that was required to. The shooting of your cars in front of you, that feels very natural. Going up and ramming into them, that also feels natural. You do have the ability to press select, and you can go into basically turbo mode if your sirens are blazing and whatnot. And it really doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference if you're in turbo mode or not, because it really feels like the exact same mechanics from the first game, where basically the enemy car is going to speed up. There's no way you can catch them. And then the AI basically forces them to slow down. You get a few hits in and on them, and then they're going to speed up again and fly off. And it's basically just simply waiting it out. Now, obviously, if you have the ability to shoot them, we know having playing with Jane here, the more bullets, the faster you can take them out, or the more power you have with Dominic, the faster you can take them out. But otherwise, the gameplay just simply is exactly the same as far as like giving you an opportunity to attack, and then no opportunity, and giving an opportunity, no opportunity. And if you just simply wait it out, or just simply go into battle mode enough times and just sort of conquer the map area and always head them off, you are pretty much guaranteed to win this game. Now, as far as like control-wise goes, the only thing I would complain about is going to be when you take a curve sometimes, it really like cuts off your field of view here on the curve, and you really can't even see like what's happening in the curve itself. And so sometimes you end up hitting like cans in the road, and you're like, I couldn't even see the can, and it feels a little bit on the unfair side. And also like when you're chasing the car, when you hit another car here, obviously it causes you to slow down, but when the AI hits a car, nothing seems to happen. So you're still not able to get to the dynamic police chases that I wanted so much in the first game, because you can't actually force the car or the enemy to crash into other cars. And so the racing here, it does feel, or the police chasing here, it does feel a little bit hollow, but it's not hollow enough to be like not fun. It's just simply less satisfying than it could be. Now, mission number 2 is going to be a different map here. You select your team, you place them on the map. We're now chasing after a purple car, and the convict here is the perpetrator of a drive-by shooting. Now, I do select the same team as last time, and the map on every single stage is going to swap up a little bit, but it's never like so different it's going to change like how you actually play the game. It's just simply a different shape here. And I will say, like, when you're actually going through the chase and you actually capture the perpetrator, go into a battle mode, the perpetrator, depending on where you're at in the map, the background does change, which allows the city to feel like a little more alive here, as far as like giving you distinct backgrounds or distinct areas as far as the streets go. But as you're going through here, you're going to notice that there are 2 perpetrators on the map, and one of them is going to be the accomplice, which is a motorcycle driver. Really easy to capture because they're obviously in a motorcycle. You hit them with a police car too many times, they're going to obviously be easily, I guess, thrown off their driving game of sorts. But very easy to capture. You don't actually have to fight the accomplice. You simply don't know which one is the accomplice, so you're simply going after whoever you can catch. But regardless, the overall mission is exactly the same. Take out the main car here, the purple car, and you've officially finished mission number 2. Mission number 3, where you're now chasing after one of the 10 most wanted criminals in the entire world, and he is in a red car. New map, no accomplice this time, but we are fighting in a nighttime scenery, so a little bit of a change of pace. Number 4 is going to be a drug deal gone wrong. We have rocks on the track for mixing it up just a little bit. Besides this, pretty much exactly the same as all the other ones. No new features. The tracks are different as opposed to the first game, but still, you probably wouldn't really notice it so much as you're going through it. Number 5 is a bank robber, blue car. You have an accomplice for this one. Mission number 6, a yellow car, and it's just simply called a high-speed chase. And so, they're mixing it up here a little bit. Now, number 7, this is where we're going to really basically have a truly high-profile criminal, an arsonist who is holding the whole city hostage. What is going on here? Like, this is more of a city emergency. There's a national, and probably the federal government's going to get involved in this. If an arsonist has the entire city held hostage. It should not be up to one police officer or 3 police officers here in order to take this arsonist out. But have no fear. I guess we're here. We're able to do it. And the oddest part about this one is almost every part of the race takes place inside of a tunnel. And it's like, is that the best place to be chasing arsonists through? I don't know. But regardless, easy to take out. Capture the arsonist. Number 8 is a perpetrator of a hidden run in a purple car. Purple perpetrator. This sounds like a purple perpetrator. I was trying to make some sort of purple one. That song, one-eyed blue, one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater. I was going to do something with the one-eyed, one-horn flying purple perpetrator, and it just did not come out right. So you can pretend that was a good joke in there somewhere, but it was not. And then the mission number 9 here is a fatal shooting. And so these really crimes are like all over the map here. And truth be told, like, I'm not sure this game could be rated E anymore because they're simply talking about fatal shootings, drug deals gone wrong, arsonists taking over cities. It definitely feels like the game would just simply have to be rated T for no other fact than just simply you have the language here that's going to basically make it seem way more violent than the game actually portrays here. And then for mission number 10, we have a jewelry store thief that we're trying to take out. And it's like, why didn't they save like the arsonist who was taking an entire city hostage as the 10th criminal? That's way more complicated than a jewelry store thief, unless you're simply doing a harken back to the first game where the first mission was a jewelry store thief. That's the only thing I can figure out. But actually, I think the first mission in the last game was a convenience store. Never mind. I don't know why in the world they chose jewelry store thief for this. But regardless, this is the largest map here. Looks way more complicated, but you can still do it pretty quickly. And then when it's over, you do get a nice little cutscene here where they're thanking you for your efforts. They said, we solved the case. Excellent job. Keep up the good work. And it's like, so we solved the case. Like, but let's think here for a second. Were all these cases somehow connected? The drive-by shooting, the drug deal gone wrong, the jewelry store thief, the convenience store. I don't know, like, it just seems really weird that they'd all be connected. I call BS on this. And also our character here looks nothing like Clint Eastwood like I wanted to in the first game. It looked more like Rainier Wolfcastle from The Simpsons. And so still a tough guy, still iconic, still like him, but he's no Clint Eastwood, let's be honest. And so the game is an overall here. It's more colorful, there's more gameplay options, but the same flaws are there from the last game. The AI, you know, just simply speeds up, slows down. There's really no skill involved in it. They hit a car, nothing happens. You hit a car, you slow down. Some of the cars are far better than the other ones. All maps are the same pretty much. There's really just simply not a ton of game here, but it's not necessarily a bad game. And so I gave the last game a 4 out of 10. And so this one, since we had some new game modes, some new features in it, I think 4.5. 5 out of 10 would probably be fair. We'll say 5 out of 10. We'll get a full point higher than the last one. But overall, Chase HQ Secret Police, it's fun to load up for a quick little, you know, maybe a half playthrough, maybe the whole thing, depending on how much fun you're having with it. But overall, simply not a great game. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above, and go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.